Good morning and welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission's administrative meeting for Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. Before we get started today, I have a few announcements to make. First of all, I'd like to introduce two of our newest employees who I had an opportunity to meet with last week in our telecommunications, gas, and water division. I'm pleased to introduce both Alex Holtschneider and Zachary Peterman as new economists to the TGW division. Alex is from Maryland and he recently graduated from Virginia Tech University with a master's in economics. Prior to earning his master's degree, Alex earned a bachelor's in math and economics from the University of Maryland in Baltimore County. Zac Peterman joins the commission, having previously worked for the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry as a wage analyst. Zac has also previously worked as a professional chef. He earned his bachelor's degree in economics from the University of Oregon and is currently pursuing his master's degree in applied economics from the University of Maryland. So we're excited to have both Zac and Alex join the team. I'd also like to recognize the service of Anthony Meyers, the commission's executive director. He was recently honored on the Senate floor for his service to the state in his capacity as chair of the board of directors for the 911 board. Over the past 20 years, Tony has devoted countless hours to this effort, both to the 911 commission and to the 911 board. He recently stepped down from that position last month, but I was glad to hear that he was recognized by the Senate and his work was appreciated by this commission. So congratulations, Tony. With that, we have meeting minutes to approve from our last meeting on January 12th, 2022. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting minutes are approved. Good morning, Mr. Secretary.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. There are 6 items on today's consent agenda. Items 1, 2, and 3 consist of revised tariff pages regarding 8YY access charge reform from Granite Telecommunications LLC. Item number 4 is a joint application from Peerless Network Holdings, Inc. and Open Market, Inc. concerning a transfer of control. Item number 5 is a notice of transfer from American Operations Corporation and JLC DC Holdco LLC of indirect control. And item number 6 is an unbundled network element loop forbearance amendment to an interconnection agreement between Verizon Maryland LLC and Metropolitan Telecommunications of Maryland, DBA MetTel.
Thank you. Do commissioners have any questions on these 6 consent agenda items? Seeing none, I would move that with respect to items number 1, 2, and 3, that we accept the tariff provisions for filing with an effective date of July 1st, 2021. With respect to item number 4, I move that we authorize Open Market Incorporated to acquire indirect ownership of Peerless Network of Maryland LLC and Aris Incorporated and note the financing arrangements. With respect to item number 5, I move that we note the indirect transfer of control of American Operations Corporation to JLC DC Holdco LLC. And with respect to item number 6, I move that we approve the interconnection agreement amendment 10 days after a 30-day comment period unless adverse comments are filed. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Aye.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motions are approved.
Mr. Chairman, item number 7 on the administrative agenda is a joint petition from Delmarva Power and Light Company and Choptank Electric Cooperative, Inc. for territory boundary revisions. On this item for staff, we have Catherine Moriarty, Lloyd Spivak, and Roger Austin. For Delmarva, Matt Seegers, Taylor Beckham, David Shea, and Kevin Campbell. And for Choptank, Sarah Dahl, Leroy Sverduk, and Tiffany Trotman.
Thank you. Good morning. We'll begin with Ms. Moriarty.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Catherine Moriarty on behalf of Staff Council. Delmarva Power, Light Company, and Choptank Electric Cooperative have jointly petitioned the Commission to revise their respective service territory boundary lines for 7 properties in various parts of their service areas. No existing customers being transferred between either utility as a result of the proposed revisions. All existing customers within the proposed revised boundaries will remain with the utility that is currently serving them. At the administrative meeting on November 17, 2021, docket number 10, Roger Austin, an engineer on behalf of technical staff, presented Bucksheet E59180 regarding Delmarva Power and Choptank's request to revise their service territory boundary lines. Of the 7 properties where the service territory is being modified, 2 of the proposed exchanges were pending applications for a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity cases, or CPCNs, before the Commission's public utility law judges. The Commissioners requested the parties determine how granting Delmarva Power and Choptank's request to revise their service territory boundary lines would impact the pending CPCN proceedings before the Commission. As a result, Staff Counsel emailed the service lists of the cases. The proposed Constant exchange would see Delmarva ceding territory to Choptank and allow the Constant Solar project to be within Choptank's service territory as opposed to both service territories. In case number 9662, Constant Solar Inc. for a CPCN to construct a 10.65 megawatt solar voltaic generating facility in Somerset County, Maryland. The project will connect to Delmarva Power's 138 kV electric grid via Choptank's Constant substation. On December 21st, 2021, Public Utility Law Judge Christine Burke's proposed order granting a CPCN to Constant Solar Inc. became final order number 900136 in case number 9662. The point of interconnection and the transmission owner will not change as a result of the Commission's decision on the pending Delmarva Power and Choptank request. No objections to the Delmarva Power and Choptank's pending request were made by any of the parties to case number 9662. Staff does not find any issues in changing the boundary lines in the CPCN application because the interconnection point does not change. The proposed Morganic Road exchange would see Choptank ceding territory to Delmarva Power service territory and in the process allow the Morganic Road solar project to be within Delmarva Power service territory as opposed to both service territories, as is currently the case. In case number 9499, Morganic Road Solar LLC for a CPCN to construct a 45 megawatt solar voltaic generating facility in Kent County, Maryland. When constructed, the project will connect to Delmarva Power's Chestertown substation. On January 7, 2022, the Public Utility Law Judge Christine Case Lawrence granted the pending CPCN to Morganic Road Solar in case number 9499. This proposed order will become a final order of the Commission on February 8, 2022 if the Commission does not modify or reverse the proposed order or initiate further proceedings as provided in Section 3-114 of the Public Utilities article. The point of interconnection and the transmission owner will not change as a result of the Commission's decision on the pending Delmarva Power and Choptank request. Staff does not find any issues in changing the boundary lines in the CPCN application because the interconnection point does not change. The Commission generally allows service territory boundary modifications if it can be shown that it would be more economical and more reasonable for a customer to be served by an electric company other than the one in whose service territory the customer is currently located if the 2 electric companies involved are in agreement and it appears to the Commission that it is in the public interest to grant the requested modification. The company and the cooperative believe that by reflecting actual property lines, the proposed boundary lines will enable them to serve current facilities and plan future facilities more efficiently and eliminate unnecessarily uncertainty as to which utility can serve a future customer more effectively. All of the planned future facilities will be better served by nearby distribution facilities belonging to the utility in whose service territory they will belong. Based on the filing and discovery responses to staff's questions, staff is persuaded that the proposed territory swaps have met the relevant standards and are therefore in the public interest. Staff recommends the Commission approve the requested changes to the service territory boundary lines of Delmarva Power and Choptank and request that the finalized territorial maps be filed with the Commission's Engineering Division upon completion. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Moriarty. Counsel for Delmarva. Good morning, Mr. Seegers.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Matthew Seegers appearing for Delmarva Power. We have nothing to add to staff's presentation or their buck sheet, but once again, we're available if you have any questions.
Thank you. Counsel for Choptank Electric Cooperative. Good morning.
Good morning. Tiffany Troutman, Manager of Finance and Regulatory Affairs for Choptank Electric. Sarah Dahl is not here with us this morning, but I am available to answer any questions along with Leroy Sverduk.
Thank you. Do we have any other counsel that aren't on camera that wish to make any statement? Okay, we'll turn to questions from commissioners, starting with Commissioner O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Seegers or Ms. Troutman, is there any timeliness component to this? In other words, is it important to do it today, or is there a reason to do it today, or anything that's pending out there that would make it have a timeliness component?
Your Honor, I am aware of a developer who I believe staff has been in contact with, and whose emails were included to staff's buck sheet. I believe that they are of the opinion that if this service boundary change does not get approved soon, it could hold up their project. I'll defer to staff on that, though, Your Honor.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Seegers. We received contact from the Council for Constant Solar, and they did express concern for the timeliness of approval of this boundary revision because it may delay interconnection agreements.
So soon, what do we mean by soon, Mr. Seegers or staff?
I feel that this buck sheet was filed a couple months ago. I mean, originally the request came in around November. And we've been working with the parties to find a resolution to the commissioner's questions on the pending CPCN applications. And at this point now we have, a final order at Constant. And I know we're still waiting for the final order to become a final, or for the proposed order to become a final order. But it seemed like time was the essence. I'm not positive exactly on they didn't express an exact time frame, but did request that we get this request filed before you and resolved soon.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And that's exactly why I asked my questions, because we don't have a final order. We still have a CPCN that's pending and is not finalized. And that happens in 3 weeks, effectively from today. And so I think I doubt this will happen. I doubt if a party will appeal the proposed order of the public utility law judge, but it's possible. And if we grant this today, does it add a complicator in any pending litigation? It's an academic question. I get it. It's not likely to play out, but it is possible. And so I'm just wondering why the concern we had last November isn't a concern today when we still have a pending order.
Your Honor, I would note that the point of interconnection in that proceeding that you reference is not going to change as a result of this filing. So because of that, I'm not aware of any effect an appeal would have if anyone were to appeal the proposed order. So I'm not sure if that helps address your concern at all.
I guess it's an academic question, but I don't want to appear to be taking away or prejudging this issue on a pending order. The commission could still act on its own, and I don't want to give any appearances that we prejudging our own decision-making capabilities. I guess I'm going to let it go, Mr. Chairman, because I don't seem to be getting an answer that I'm looking for as to why today is more superior than 3 weeks from now when the order will probably be final. But I want to make it very clear, we still maintain the right as a commission to reject this proposed order of the pool J on our own accord. And I want to make that very clear. We're not ceding that authority.
Thank you, Commissioner. Ms. Moriarty, I was looking at your buck sheet and you had some attachments to it. It appears that you included an email exchange between you and David Bugelmans. I don't see Mr. Bugelmans on today's call. Is that correct?
Correct. He is not on this call.
Okay. So Ms. Moriarty, perhaps you could help me out here. This email from you to him, there's some red text. Is the red text the response from Mr. Bugelmans?
Yes.
Okay. And he's representing Invenergy, the developer in this case, is that right?
I believe, if I could just pull this up to make sure that I'm misstating anything.
And I'm looking on page 6 of the buck sheet.
Okay, thank you. I'm just pulling it up right now. So I believe, yes, that Mr. Bugelman is representing, this is concerning the Richfield Solar Project, case number 9457. And yes, Mr. Bugelman's answers are in red. And, I believe that Mr. Bugelman would be representing, yes, Richfield Solar, yes.
Right, Richfield Solar Project, which appears to be owned by Invenergy Corporation.
Yes.
One item did stand out to me, and this was his second response in red text,
Okay.
which he states that at the administrative meeting, which is today's meeting, and I don't know why Mr. Bugelman is not here, but he says, at the administrative meeting, the commission may wish to confirm with DPL that the below issues are unrelated to the pending service territory request. And then there are like 10 bullets. Mr. Seegers, do you understand what I'm referencing here?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Okay, can you provide that confirmation?
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, well, that's so they're unrelated. These 10 bullets are unrelated to this request. That resolves my concern. Thank you. Any other questions from commissioners? Seeing none, at this time, I'm like to propose a motion that we approve the requested changes to the service territory boundary lines of Delmarva Power, Light Company and Chop Tank Electric Cooperative Incorporated, and direct the companies to file finalized territorial maps with the Commission's Engineering Division upon completion. The vote begins with Commissioner Herman.
Aye.
Commissioner Linton.
Aye, and I would also associate my vote with Commissioner O'Donnell's earlier comments. To the extent issue comes up in a pending order, the commission still should have the authorities to address.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
I want to vote aye, Mr. Chairman, but I want to restate my understanding on the record here that we are not ceding our authority in one iota, and we can still intervene, and I don't know what impact that may have, but I don't want anybody to cite this decision as a prejudgment or precedential in nature in any way, shape, or form.
And Commissioner Richard.
Aye.
I vote aye. The motion is approved. Seeing no additional business on today's agenda, we are adjourned. I would just like to note for those staying on the call for the status conference in case number 9667, the matter of OPC versus Potomac Edison, that matter will be heard at 10:30 a.m. You may stay in this virtual room. This meeting is adjourned.